Hello there.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of the Tabletop Trio podcast. I'm Bob,
I'm Joe.
and we've got a special episode for you. Bronson is off this week. He's out enjoying some well-deserved time off on vacation, but that means you have us.
Indeed.
And we're doing stupid things today. As you can see, we have a little bit of a different setup. We are going to be, before I'm watching the chat, it says nice setup, thank you. We're going to be building a PC.
Indeed. Our special guest today is this processor.
The processor, the video card, the motherboard.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff and things. We got this guy. There's some stuff over here. So I am going to be building a computer.
I'm excited to see this.
Because I'm going to be up close and personal. I know you can see my microphone is right here.
It looks, the best part is in the camera shot, you're only able to tell because of the lighting that we have on you.
There's a lot of light.
There's just a little bit of a glare. It's like your beard is reflective. Otherwise, you could not tell that it's there.
Love that. So we are. I guess it's going to be a little ASMR, huh? Because
Oh yeah.
you could hear as I am opening stuff.
Oh yeah, and if you're a podcast listener, you could check out the video on demand on Twitch. It's going to be up on YouTube as well, Tabletop Trio. I'm also going to post little snippets of this actually on my YouTube channel as well. At Bob Giaquinto Racing, I put iRacing videos on, so you get to see Joe build the computer that I'll be racing on.
So I guess we'll start with whoa, weird echo. With why I decided to pick these components. So you were on a budget.
Yes.
So I couldn't go with like the latest and greatest. But we know it's for iRacing is like the main thing.
iRacing, recording videos, making things look a little prettier.
Right. So I went with the Ryzen 7 5700X. It's a year old now, give or take, but in its day was a monster. And that gives you an upgrade path because there's still 2 more processors that are like a little bit above this one.
Yeah, I saw there was like an 8 and a 9 as well.
Yeah, you've got the Ryzen 9 and then the new Ryzen 9, I think 5950X or whatever it's called, which is like the gaming one. We got a 3060. This one is, again, it's great mid-range. It'll get you 1080p, 1440p, at minimum 60 FPS. You're fine. Pretty decent motherboard. This one, I believe, was for the 3rd and 4th gen Ryzen, but is forward compatible with BIOS updates, so we didn't have to break the bank there. I had a case already, so that was
Bequeathed unto me.
Donated. We got 32 gigs of RAM. That'll be more than enough. And then we've got ourselves a M.2 SSD, 1 terabyte for all of the games.
Yeah. And in the old carcass, before I forget, is my my old solid state.
Right. We'll shove that in there.
So we'll
later.
be able to split that one.
I knew I forgot something in there.
Because I was sitting there watching you earlier, and you're like we got here early just so we can like make sure all the parts are clean and all that kind of stuff. And Joe's just like, it's like splayed out all over the table, like all the guts and wires are everywhere, and I'm just like, it brought me back to that time in like high school when you have to dissect a frog. And you just see things everywhere, and I'm like, I sure, when it's all together, I guess it all works, but apart,
It happens quick.
yes.
So I guess we're going to do a slight unboxing. I'm going to scoot the camera forward. That was a terrible noise. I apologize. And we will scoot this down.
Let's see
Hopefully.
what how that one looks.
Oh, please stop, rubber.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
What a great noise.
Yeah, right? Perfect. That's what we want. Come on, work with me.
Eventually.
Oh my God, it's the worst noise. Why? All right, there we go. And
It's like a basketball court, but
yeah, but
worse.
there's no basketballs. Okay, perfect. So we've got our fancy motherboard here. So I don't know if a lot of people who build computers do this, but I feel like they do. The first case you ever put this in is directly on top of the cardboard. And then you put it all together on here, and then you go
Okay.
to the next step.
Is there a reason behind that?
If something isn't working correctly, you don't want to troubleshoot it in the computer.
Fair.
So let's get our boxes out of here. Nothing in the box. I guess we're
and-
going to do a slight unboxing accidentally.
Right? And
Thank you for choosing your product.
there was a whole story about this motherboard too. This is the second time I had to buy that motherboard, because when I bought the first one in Amazon and their infinite wisdom sent that to me in a bag and not a box.
You know what's hilarious? I think the same week they sent you that in a bag, I got 2 AA batteries for work, or not two. It was a CR2032 battery, the little button cells for computers. They sent me 2 of them in a box.
So you got my box and I got your bag.
Yeah, I was like,
Because like when I bought the motherboard, it came with, like, I also bought the RAM at the same time, and there might have been one other thing. The box for the motherboard was completely destroyed, like fist-size hole in the back of the box.
it looks like someone at Amazon had a bad day.
And I opened it up. Everything looked fine, like nothing looked broken or damaged or anything like that. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, no. So I returned it and then went to BH Photo Video and bought it and literally got it the next day.
Love B&H.
It's so good. Not sponsored, but if they want to, this would be the perfect podcast. To,
I knew they wouldn't,
to
but-
sponsor us.
I promise. I have a lot of things I want to build, and I could use the jank.
Right? I mean, we have plenty of room behind us. I mean, you can't see now with the camera shot. But we've plenty of room behind us to put a giant B&H Photo Video. So, you know.
Okay, so here's a really pretty motherboard. I forgot how good they made these look.
Those are really cool looking.
Yeah, you can see our Bob's future connectivity there. You have things that
has
you're
2
never going to
Ethernet
use.
ports.
One of them is 2.5 gig, which you'll literally never end up
Yeah.
using.
I
But-
have a gigabit switch, like,
Yeah.
in my room, and that's about it.
Yeah, so you got 1. And this is like, yeah, but the other 1.5. So processor always goes first. That's just general rule of thumb. If you're going to break something, might as well break that out of the gate.
All of the ASMR going on right now.
So this is a big box, and you'll notice that it's mostly empty.
You know, I was wondering why it felt light, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, should I open this to make sure everything's in there? Or...
This is it. It was on the side. You can see it.
Oh my god.
If you bought a one of the cheaper ones, then you would have had a heatsink in here. But because we are doing liquid cooling, we wouldn't have used it anyway. So I bought the one without the heatsink in it. I think it's like an extra. I think you save like $20 or something.
That's not bad.
But when you're on a budget,
yeah,
those
20
$20
bucks. Yeah.
they add up.
Like with that $20 in the Amazon credit that I got, I bought a 29-inch ultra wide.
Exactly.
So, you know.
So you gotta
not
be
too bad.
very careful with these 5 series because they are all
Holy crap.
pins. I don't know if you can see that in the focus.
Focus.
It's probably too shiny, but there are a ton of pins.
Yeah.
Let me find the dot. There's the dot. I never build in this direction, so
Would it help if you stood up?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
So it slots in there. You lift this little lever. The CPU, like the pins all sit nice and flush. Never force components in. They will just never work again.
You mean brute force doesn't work?
No, don't. Not here. Then you just pull that pin down. That slides it and locks it into place. And that lives there now.
Wow.
That's it.
So I've seen, again, I have never built a computer. Looking at computers, I know nothing aside from, oh, that's a thing, and that's important. Thermal paste, no need?
It's going to be on the thing over there.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be on the liquid cooler.
Oh, okay. So thermal paste, I'm assuming, is just there to like dissipate heat.
Yes, it's
Okay.
it's an in between from the layer of metal, which is your CPU, and then the metal that is the heatsink. So it
Okay.
needs something in between because metal on metal doesn't do anything.
Oh, so it's almost like basically like your cartilage in like a joint or something like that, almost like a shock absorber, but temperature instead of
But for heat,
shock.
yes. Okay, so here we have our M2 drive.
Pretty.
It's tiny. Well, get a good look because this thing came with a cover and a heatsink, so you're not going to see it anymore once I cover this in a minute. So this is all the fast parts of building a computer. This is going to slow down significantly in a minute once I start getting into the case, because that's where the problems, well, not problems, but that's where the fun begins.
Oh yes.
So I've never timed me building a computer, and I've definitely never had someone record me building a computer.
Well, luckily for you, we're not on a time limit or anything like that.
Yeah. So
Got a little 2-shot here going. Me being absolutely bewildered at what the hell is going on.
So when you put an M2 drive in, they're a little springy. They go up, kind of like they slot in. Then you push it down. You get a little tiny screw, and you screw the little tiny screw in. And that's that. So this particular motherboard has a heat spreader on here. So you can see this is slippery. I'm going to peel this off. It's got like they call it thermal pads. It looks like really tasty taffy. It's not, I promise. Don't ask me how I know. Don't at me. But this is going to go here. That's going to come down. It's a little sticky. It feels like they put a magnet in here too, which is kind of neat.
Dumb question. I know growing up, magnets near computers, bad idea.
So that was mostly for the old hard drives.
Okay. With the old spinning disc. And
Yeah, with the
all
old
that kind of
spinning
thing.
disc and the magnets and all that good stuff. That was usually a no-no. With these days, you don't really have to worry about that. Everything is solid state, and the capacitors are like a million times better, and everything has just gotten better. So you don't really have to worry about doing that like that anymore.
In the chat, 4M Watch says, Joe's a goblin, confirmed.
Why am I a goblin? What'd I do?
Probably from you trying to eat the paste.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Listen, if I don't taste it, how would I know?
Surfer KWC in the chat says, magnets are how you erase the old hard drive, too.
Correct. Accidentally.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Accidentally on purpose.
Also, if you had the old CRT monitors, it would make them wobble real bad. Oh, yeah. You would basically be degauzing it, but like live, which is not particularly great for the lifespan of
probably
said
not
components.
ideal.
So we got our RAM here. Nothing crazy. Again, this was a budget build, so we didn't want to get like the RGB and all that good stuff.
Even though I think that does have RGB, the motherboard itself.
It
says on the box
It
it did.
probably does.
Which, so another thing, as I've seen, you always want, when you buy RAM, you want to buy it in series.
So you want to buy sets because there are channels. So in this particular instance, also real quick, because it's just like the most satisfying click is RAM. Unless you've never done it before, and then it's terrifying. But just feels good.
That's nice. That's nice.
So RAM either runs as a single channel or dual channel, which in dual channel, it actually runs faster than you would if you were in single channel. So if you have like one stick of RAM in a computer, you wouldn't, like, you as the end user would probably never notice. But if you were ever doing benchmarking or anything like that, it will be noticeable. You would absolutely feel the difference. So, feel the difference.
Air quotes.
So, this is pretty much done. I have to open up the liquid cooler because I need to see what mounting bracket they include. So these brackets right here. Let me spin it to the camera. These brackets right here are for the stock cooler that I was telling you about. So they kind of just click in, lift, and then when you pull it down, they'll smush it and done. However, we are not using those brackets, so every company kind of has like their own thing. Some do use, some don't. That's why I just want to check it real quick.
Fair enough.
That would have been a problem. I didn't push the RAM down all the way.
Oh my.
So, let me move this guy out of the way. So we're not going to do the video card yet because it is longer than the video or than the motherboard, and that's just going to be. So I tend to put the video cards in once everything is in the computer case because, you know, at that point you're done, you're ready to go. I don't like doing it before because then I'm just moving around this like hulking thing, and when I got to run cables and plug things in here, it's just a headache you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
So that's my tip when you're building a computer is put the video card in later. Oh yeah, your liquid cooler does have RGB though.
Ooh.
Like a lot of RGB.
So liquid cooling versus just fan cooling. Pros, cons. Like what's the deal with that?
It really depends these days. Some processors just absolutely need liquid cooling. Looking at you, Intel 13th gen, it just will not survive. Oh god, they make you put the whole thing together. Well, this is going to take a minute. Also, it's going to come with a lot of components. Don't get freaked out. We only need like a third of them.
I was gonna say I see
A lot?
a lot.
Yeah. So, just get this out the way.
That is just straight up radiator for a small car.
correct, yes.
Oh God, it is.
So you can see the plate here is, there you go, is copper. So you want copper. Obviously, it's the best, you know.
Yeah, it's conductive and all that
So
fun
you know
stuff.
how I said that most companies have it pre-installed? They don't. So I have a tube here.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a lot of these in the basement, but this one is yours. So in here, the silver stuff is thermal paste. And depending on what company, there actually will be silver in there.
Oh wow. And that the silver helps with cooling and that kind of stuff.
It's all about conducting. So the AMD guide for us is pretty dumb easy. So that's convenient.
Yay.
It is using the brackets that are on here, so I don't have to go crazy and do things I don't want to do.
That's a plus.
It is a plus. Also, we have a controller, I guess, for the RGB. Remotes. Okay.
Oh God, so it's just remote. It's like, oh shit, where's my remote?
So I assume that you can plug this in to your motherboard and have control. I think that's what this is for. But I guess if you don't have that, you could just run straight on that.
Okay.
We'll figure that out later. But I believe we need this and this, and that's it. Maybe these?
Screws, maybe slightly important. Possibly.
I think it's just these. Neat.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah. See, Intel fucking so much to do. I'm sorry about the crackle. This is the shitty plastic. I'll get to these later. That's off on the side. These are for Intel brackets. We're just never gonna see those again. I got to put the fans on, so I guess that's what.
Surfer KWC says, at least it's not as bad as the wires for Corsair RGB fans.
That is very true. I have a handful of them in my computer downstairs, and yeah.
So talking about computers and that kind of stuff, I think it's so funny how the only people I know who work in IT are named Joe or Kyle. Kyle's in the chat. You're right here. And where my girlfriend works, she has 2 IT guys, Joe and Kyle.
Love that. Well, what do you want to know about? So, I mean, come on, work with me here. So this is they call it an all-in-one. So this is yeah, you can see it. Basically a radiator, like Bob said, but this is pre-filled with liquid. It's not water.
Oh, okay.
It's like
so
a weird.
So I don't need to actually fill it or top it off.
No.
Or...
So this will last for, depending on how hot it gets and all that good stuff, anywhere from like 4 to 8 years is like the going rate before you'll start to hear like bubbling. The more it bubbles, there's air in the line. It's gonna happen, even though this is like a sealed loop. It is not like perfectly sealed. It is still gonna evaporate over time. So you just gotta you deal with that. So I just gotta remember how this is gonna run. Why are there so many plugs? Oh, speaking of Corsair cabling, this is basically the same thing. You have one for the fan, and then you have one for the RGB. Love that for us. So,
Forum Watch says we have Patrick and Nick.
Yeah. So they're
Very,
look at that.
very like generic kind of names too.
You've doubled your. All right. So this is gonna go. Do I want to do it this way, or this way? I guess I gotta put it this way. So, sorry, I'm just imagining in my mind how this is going to go in the case. So. Got to go this way because the thermal take has to be straight. It'll bother me if it doesn't. That's just how it is, Bob. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Okay, so if that's the case,
Forum Watch says it's like they're all being pumped out of a factory, and the person who names them isn't at all creative.
it's close enough. Did they give you any rubber? No, they just sent it. So,
would there be rubber in any of these bags?
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it.
So, I highly recommend to anybody who is going to be building a computer, magnetic screwdrivers. It's almost a necessity at this point. This feels like there was supposed to be rubber here. They didn't give you any rubber? Nothing? No? Great. Love that. Thanks, Thermaltake.
Is it? Oh, that's just a...
I'm really surprised they didn't... Usually the fans have the rubber on them.
Unless it's not in the bottom of the box or anything.
No, yeah, just screw it on in there. That's it.
Fair enough.
All right. It's just weird because that one felt loose.
Magnetic screwdriver and ratcheting screwdriver always.
Yeah, I don't have a ratcheting screwdriver. Well, I have an automatic screwdriver, so I guess that's technically ratcheting. I didn't want to use it for this video because it does make a bit of a high squeak, like like a
right there getting picked up by the microphone. Probably not the most ideal.
Yeah, it would have been not been great.
The ASMR would not have been
not ASMR-y. not that one.
Just nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, I think it's even higher pitched. So this is the annoying part, where unfortunately, when it comes to budget components, the reason they are budget is because they make you do the work. So
sounds about right.
Not a big deal. It's kind of like when you buy a DIY kit and
yeah,
everything you have to do.
I look at it like a model kit. Like a model kit you can actually use and
Yeah, very, very
you
similar.
know, fuck around with instead of just having it sit on your shelf and collect dust.
So
Well, it's going to collect dust anyway, but
It will collect dust, yes. So I have the fans pushing. I know some people go back and forth. It depends on the setup. For Bob's case, and well, yeah, literally, this is going to be exhausting. So these will be blowing out the back, out the top, right up into the air. Okay, so now you got that. These will sit like that. Great, dandy. Perfect. I think I put them in the wrong direction, but you'll be fine. All right. So that's that. Now I just got to do. Yeah, perfect. Work with me here.
that plastic is
The worst? Yeah.
the worst.
Okay. So, this guy, how do? So, like most computers, like components and stuff, you can kind of just like easily figure out what you're doing. You've done it a couple times. You kind of just, that's the process. You're going. It's great. When it comes to liquid coolers, every fucking company does their own thing. So it's like every time it's different. Like this is new.
Yeah.
This is a new one.
Yeah, like what's going on here?
So for this goes this way. Tighten the screws halfway. That's so weird.
Probably just as a like a base point.
So the way the AMD heat sinks work is they literally they clip on, and then you tighten them with like a maybe not what you'd call it. Okay, and then are you telling me this just slides on? Does this slide off? No. No, that has to slide off. I think they're fucking with me is what they're doing.
Maybe. As we're
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck, because it don't fit that way. It don't fit that way either. No, fuck.
to the front of it then?
It's going this way. No. Am I? What? Did they send the wrong bracket? Like
Oh
what?
Jesus.
TT logo. Sideways. This goes on this way. That legit does not fit.
Does it go under the bracket?
No.
What the fuck?
Does this bracket have to come off? I really hope not.
That wouldn't be ideal.
That bracket might have to come off.
Yes, Surfer KWC says, I think the Intel bracket needs to come off.
I do, but they don't list anywhere on how. I'm assuming it's not the non-removable side. So it's not that way. How does that... Oh.
Hey!
Maintenance. Percussion. Sometimes components feel like they're going to break when you touch them. Ignore that.
So what you're saying is you don't let me touch the camera or the computer or anything.
All right, there we go.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're on there. I think we are pretty much ready for... Case, what are the other two for? In case the other two fall? Like what? I guess they use the same ones for Intel. All right. Let's scoot these over. I guess all these screws are for Intel. Yep.
Holy hell! Like the amount.
The Intel setup is a little bit more. So Intel uses stress points. So the four corners and you push it down. There's a plate that goes underneath. They squish each other and they sandwich.
Okay.
AMD uses pressure with these little hooks and they just screw and squish down.
Oh,
so
okay.
they both have their positives and negatives.
That is really cool, though, that they're two different companies looking at the same thing, but going about it different ways.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's these guys are the ones that really kind of make their own thing. Like, they all figure out their own different ways and how they want to do it and stuff like that. So, I guess at this point, we should switch to the case, where this is going to get interesting. So, just, I guess, mute me real quick while I make a bunch of noise.
You got it. You're muted now. But yeah, so far it's looking like things are pretty interesting when it comes to building this. A lot more involved than I thought it was, I guess. Because on one hand, it's like, okay, looking at a motherboard, everything looks somewhat plug and play. And I guess to a more quote-unquote advanced setup, it kind of is. You just plug it in and you know where everything goes and you just kind of let it go and do its thing. But on the other hand, I'm looking at all this and I'm just like, I know those things work. I know kind of what they do, but I don't know how to get from point A to point B. Has become like adult Legos. Yeah, honestly, it really has. Like, just building stuff and making it your own and being able to customize things. That's actually a really cool way of looking at it, because it's just, you make stuff. You know what I mean? Right now, Joe is getting the rest of the stuff set up, looking for cables and all that kind of thing. Real quick, intermission break, I guess you could say. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us on Tabletop Trio Podcast. If you like what you see, make sure to give us a follow. This way you'll get notified whenever we go live and all that kind of stuff. We also put the audio version of the show on all podcasting platforms everywhere: Spotify, Player.fm, TuneIn Radio, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. We're there usually the day after. And then if you want to watch, you can watch the VOD, or you can check us out on YouTube as well, Tabletop Trio. You'll be able to find us there. And we'll put all of our episodes, a little bit of a backlog, but it is what it is. It's literally just like the three of us putting, all of this up together. So always super fun. Looking good for coming back.
Yeah, close enough.
All right.
Okay. So, case. Well, some of a case.
Yeah, you can kind of see the bottom.
You can see the bottom corner.
2 fans.
Yeah. So I'm aiming right. Good, perfect.
There we go.
We're good. So we've got our donor power supply. This was in the PC that I put in the one that Bob has been using.
The old Stormtrooper
yes.
case.
But it works great. There's really nothing wrong with it.
Which I will say, with that old case, it looks blue in the house, but having it taking it outside, it reacts with the UV lighting, which I think is awesome. And it's more of like a purple fluorescent. And under black light, I would assume it looks different too. So I think it's kind of cool. Big fan.
I honestly didn't even know that. I've always seen it in the light. So I am putting the fan in. I know some people are probably like, oh, it's upside down.
I was actually looking at that because I'm like, that's upside down.
Yeah. So there is a intake on the bottom of this with a filter on it. So this could suck in air to blow it back out. Because this case has one of the fancy side things that kind of cover the power supply, I still want it to have airflow. So I'm going to pull from the bottom and then spit it out the top. So it's upside down. If this case didn't have the cover on the top, I would flip it the other way and have it just circulating. Okay. But in this particular setup,
because in the old machine it was the other way around.
Correct. I have somewhere just a slew of screws.
God, the more I think about Kyle's comment how it's become like adult Legos.
Yeah,
It's so true.
but like it's in a good way.
Oh, 100%.
Like when I used to,
and it's stupid expensive for no reason.
Well-
There's precious metals in all these.
they used to also be expensive. No one just talks about that.
Yeah.
Like when I used to build, like when I was just getting started, like when I was a kid, it was really hard to like. I'm actually surprised I was even remotely able to kind of get where I got, because like we didn't really have Google, like we didn't really have like searches and stuff like that. So I was finding things on like forums, but like when I logged into AOL on my computer that I wasn't supposed to use at 2:00 in the morning, or and I'd be on.
Or dodging phone calls in the afternoon.
Yeah. Turn off. Tell your boyfriend to stop calling.
Get off the phone. I'm trying to use the internet. I'm trying to look at porn.
God, I just got the torrent going and now it's gone. All right.
Now LimeWire says it's taken 3 weeks to download the song. Num.exe.
It's great. All right. So, I guess I should put the motherboard in first, huh? Yeah.
Lots of, all right, maybe we should do this. Oh, maybe we should do that.
Yeah, it's when you build a computer, it's like an art.
It really is.
Does this have the faceplate? Oh, it is. It's built in. So usually these plates, not usually. Lately, they've been built in like this, but it used to be that you get like a box with like a plate like this, and you gotta go snap it in there.
Oh, okay.
And that's how it would function. But not anymore. Now we just line up the holes. So, hold.
We'll get the 2-shot going here. I will say the production value on this specific shoot is like
Over the top.
It's over the top for literally no reason, aside from
We can.
Joe and I cannot be left alone to our own devices.
That's pretty much it.
Like, we need someone to
Rein
tell
us
us
in.
to just be like, guys, no.
All right. So there are, for those who are wondering, there are no less than 2 lights in here, so that we could really make sure you guys could see everything. Just in case.
Getting a bit of a glare on the CPU itself, but
Well,
who
that's fine.
cares?
It's going to be covered soon. Okay, so we've got our motherboard in place. So,
In the chat, Nikon said we had a separate phone line just for the modem. Otherwise, they would never would have been able to go on the phone.
oh, you guys are bougie. I remember the day I pressured my parents into getting Optimum. I was like, we need a cable modem. And they're like, what's that? And I was like, we can go fast. 15 megabits.
I don't even remember when my parents decided, yeah, we're getting a computer and the internet. And I'm like, we can have a computer in our house? I could only play in the school. Like,
I remember my parents were like, we don't need a computer. And then they finally got one and they were trying to set it up. And I was still a kid. I barely had computer, but they were just doing it so slow. I was like, oh, just move! Get out
I'll
away!
figure it out.
And because that's how I was. I just I needed to figure it out. That's how I was with everything.
For him, watch says, when you tell those stories, Joe, you sound like a mini salesman who just kept harassing your parents.
Oh, absolutely. I was like the worst. I did it with everything with them. Like if I needed something, just you were getting a speech.
And Surfer KWC says, I wish I had AIM still instead of Discord.
Dude, I wish AIM still existed. It was so good.
The last time I had to use AIM was maybe 8 years ago. like that recently, because when I worked at a previous radio station, our host only used AIM to communicate with the producer
That's
because he would do his show from home.
hilarious.
And he didn't want to give his phone number out to people, which I'm like, dude, you have a paid program health show on like a Sunday morning. Relax.
So this is going to be fun. I have to figure out how I'm going to get this mounted.
Ah. If you could see Joe's face right now,
I said there was going to be a lot of that.
yes.
To be perfectly
we were
transparent.
joking saying before that there's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
like Tim Allen, like tool time grunting going on.
It's like half of PC building. So while I'm up here.
Oh my god, the Metallica AIM sound
Oh,
and like all the other instead of like the
all of them, yeah.
I always had The Unforgiven by Metallica,
Did you?
and every now and then I would switch from that to Numb by Linkin Park.
Yeah, every time I get a message. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, every time.
Crawling in.
I used to have that on my cell phone, but it was cell phone, so it was just like crawling. And that was it.
Like super hardcore digitized,
Yep. I used to have it on my Nextel phone.
like not even 8-bit, like 2-bit.
Man, I
Doesn't
remember,
even exist.
I remember when that was a thing. What are you? Oh, your audio. I was like, I know you're supposed to be here somewhere. There it is.
Now it's just a matter of
So what these cables are, Bob and everyone, are the ones that...
you're gonna want to move the case towards that way a little more.
How's that? So these cables down here, this is for your... There we go.
Nikon says going to listen to Numb right now.
So this is your audio for your computer case.
Okay.
So if you plug in like your headphones up top or anything like
Oh,
that,
so that'll actually work this
they'll
time.
work this time around. This one is for your USB 3.0 built into the case,
Awesome.
and then this is for rainbow glowy lights.
Ooh.
And then these guys are labeled. So I will plug those in once I get to that point, because I have to find where they go. Usually they're down here somewhere in like some sort of specific configuration. But for some reason, they have it really weird.
Also, I apologize for no cat cam this week. As you can see, we have other stuff
Sorry.
going on.
There's a lot going on in this here day.
Yes.
All right, so I need to put the radiator in. It is at that point. So this would be easy if I wasn't supposed to be pointing a camera at it the whole time.
Well, if you need to, we can do, set up some, like, 2-shot action or something like that for the time being. Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Let's just shove this in here and hope it fits.
That's what she said?
Yeah. So I still need to get to the power over there at some point. So where is our bracket? I could do it that way. No, it needs to go this way.
There's definitely a lot of, like... I think to me, what's cool about all of this is there's so much room for customization.
Yeah, that is
And, like, the theories behind why things get placed where they do.
so it's like even more now. It's not just like cable customization, because I am going to be cleaning this and zip tying it and all that good stuff. But like even the main like basic point, like these cables, for example, are just black ribbon cable. You could buy these in white. You could buy them that glow, like literal LEDs on them.
Oh, jeez.
You could buy them in 4 different colors. You could buy them with like a flag or anything like in a specific order. It's really like a how far do you want to go with your system kind of thing.
Yeah, how crazy do we want to get here?
Right. And that's really cool. So what I'm gonna do now is just
All I have
plug
to
in
say
all these things.
while you're working on that is I cannot wait until I turn the computer on for the first time. Don't have to press F1 because there's some random thing with the old donor motherboard on the old PC.
Listen,
Doesn't say property of, insert thing here, like as a refurbished machine or anything like that. Like, I'm just gonna plug it in and it works.
yeah, but
And that's gonna be really weird.
That was part of the charm when I built that, though.
Oh my god, yeah. Like there was just something to say about like just having that. You know what I mean?
I know my watch is Gorilla Glass and all that, but it's not that much Gorilla Glass.
Just in case.
'Cause what I really should have done is put these in first, but I didn't.
I mean, that would just make too much sense, Joe.
Yeah, and I already screwed it in, and I know I could unscrew it, but I'm not going to.
Funny you say that, Nikon. Nikon asked, do they even still make towers that have DVD Blu-ray drive ports anymore?
Shut
I want to
up.
upgrade my case, but I still want my physical drives. What can I say? I'm old.
They do indeed. In fact, the case that I just gave Bob, I was literally pointing out. I was like, this case was awesome because it was super tiny. It's about the size of like 2 shoe boxes or like one shack-size shoebox.
Yeah.
It was really, really small, but it still had a Blu-ray player on it. And he's like, "Oh, does it? I never even used that." I was like,
I literally...
Bob, that's it
because
had
I
a
know
Blu-ray
you put it in
burner.
there. I did nothing with that drive.
"Yeah,
Granted, it was also not in like the most convenient place.
wasn't."
And 4am Watch says, Bob, your hopes make me a little sad. The capabilities you want are just so bare minimum. I'm easy.
Truly the basics.
I'm easy. Like, does it get from point A to point B? That's all I need. It's like the typical dad, like,
So
I don't need any of this shit. Just give me the thing that make it work. I'm like,
So going back to the cables, this is a fully modular power supply. So there are semi-modular power supplies, and then some that are just like the old school. Here's all the cables coming out of the power supply. If you don't need them, tie them somewhere. That's that.
I appreciate that this is like you plug and go.
Yes, this is. You only need to plug what you need to plug. So I'm going to be giving you an extra because you're not going to need it. Because last time around when I made the Frankenstein PC, I plugged in everything and I was just like, here, there you go. But you don't
Have
really
fun.
need that. Yeah. Okay. So.
And before we go any further, do you need the old hard drive out of the old machine yet? Should that have gone into...
No, it's actually, we could do that later. It's actually going to
okay.
be right here.
Oh,
So it's not going to be that much of a pain in any
Okay.
direction.
just wanted to make sure before we got any further. It's something I remembered. I'm like, I don't know how this works, so fuck it.
Oh, yes, it does have one. So I don't normally use these connectors anymore. These are Molex connectors, aka 4-pin, aka Antiques. I don't know if I need it yet, so if I do, I will plug it in. There is a lot of RGB right here, right here, and here. So once I figure out if this will run without any issues, which I have a feeling it is not, I will need to probably use this to adapter. Actually, yeah, I'm going to need it. Not even going to bother. Definitely going to need it. Just come on, work with me here.
Getting it all plugged in, ready to go.
Again, would have been smart if I plugged this in ahead of time and then put it in. But I was like, there's plenty of room down here.
Right.
for my fat fingers. I was wrong. I was so wrong.
Which I love the juxtaposition of everything right now. Like right now, Joe and I are building a computer while Bronson is somewhere in Hawaii, like relaxing on the beach.
Yeah.
And we're just like, yeah, building a computer.
So I'm going to do this one here. So now this is where, like, this is where the key starts to come in of, like, cable management. So, like, or, if you're building, you know what goes where and what has to go where. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to start the process of where's going to go where. Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't even know. No, this is just going to stick here. And then this guy also here. So you're going to have this guy's for your solid state drive.
Okay.
And then this guy, I'm just going to plug in here, and that's going to make all your RGBs glowy.
Ooh.
At least that's in theory.
And then we can talk later about programs to run the RGB and all that kind of stuff, right? Because I know I have IQ. Because IQ runs my mouse and keyboard right now.
Probably not going to run any of that.
And my headphones.
But we'll figure it out. So I will cable manage all of this. It will bother me until I don't. But for now, that's what we're looking at. Okay, so back down it goes. All right. So now, we're not going to do these yet. These are, the video card would click right here. Okay. But that's not right now. This, however, so big thing when you're building a computer, it's going to feel like it's going to snap. You're going to feel a lot of pressure. These connectors are on its way out. We are moving towards 12 volt only power supplies, so there's only like this many pins instead of this many pins. But until that happens, these are your connector.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That is violent but satisfying.
It feels bendy. You feel like you're going to break the board. It's terrifying the whole time, every time. It is what it is. But we are good. We're in there. These are probably backwards. They are. Of course they are.
Neat.
So the case that this was in beforehand was the other direction. Cables like to have memory of where they were plugged in. You know how like it's wire.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, are you sure you want to plug it in this way? I feel like it goes that way.
When I was working in promotions, my big thing, I was so anal about how cables are wrapped. And if a cable is wrapped properly, it will always wrap properly. But the minute an intern wraps something wrong, that cable is
ruined forever.
Fucked forever. And there's no way to like fix it unless you literally lay the cable out in the parking lot in the sun.
Really?
Yeah. Like I have spent days literally just sitting outside and letting cables just letting them lay there.
Or I guess warm
up so they can be a little more malleable.
Yeah.
Doing promo events was great when I had interns because I'd let the interns run the board or like run the table.
All right.
And I'd literally just walk back to the van and say, guys, I'm walking around. I'm taking the cables for a walk is what I would say. Because I would literally have like these big 50-foot reels of cable and just walk them back and forth and like S-pattern them out. Like, you guys are fine.
All right. You know how I said cable management is going to be a thing that's going to bother me? Yeah.
Nikon says, my father uses the white plastic wire ties for cable management. Used to drive my friend who worked on computers nuts. So like those.
You get what
Tell
you
your
get.
friend to deal with it because that's what Joe's using now.
Listen, so when you buy power supplies, and I don't know who in the industry decided that it should be the power supplies problem, but when you buy power supplies, they're the ones that give you zip ties. I guess because they have the most pain in the ass thing, because their cables are the thickest. So I guess that's how that works. So most companies will give you an excessive amount of black cable ties. And that's nice. But this is a...
Nikon says, yep.
Yeah, but this is a pre-owned power supply. And so we don't have said black zip ties. So I always have these clear guys on hand, but they're like 8 years old, so they're not that clear anymore. But
The best is the story you told me before the show of how many you bought.
yeah, so I was at work and I was buying these cable ties, and the website that I was buying from made it sound like there were not that many in a box or in a pack. So I went and I just bought 25 packs because I was like, yeah, perfect. Each one of these had 10 zip ties, so I'll just buy 25 packs. I'm good for a couple years. Box comes, large box. Was kind of confused. Turns out I bought 25 packs of 100. Bought 2,500 zip ties. So I still use them. Obviously, they are here today, and they're great.
So I just got a little bit of breaking news. Unfortunately, the creator of the game Settlers of Catan has passed away today.
How old is he?
I am going to have to do math because 1952 to 2023.
70 something?
Yep. Yeah, 70, 69, 70 something.
Yeah.
So, shame. Love Catan.
I wonder if he was responsible for all of the add-ons. Or if it was just like he made the base game, sold it, and then here you go. All right. So that was going to drive me insane. My apologies, Bob. I had to spin the fans around
No,
so
you're
that
good.
they went outside. So there you go. So they go towards the case and not towards the window. That was just gonna. It was gonna be the end of me. It's like the little things when you're building a computer. It's like this is your mark. Like when you're building the computer, you're building
Oh, yeah.
someone's mark.
You're the craftsman.
Yeah.
Like, it's your baby.
Right. So someone goes and looks at it and like, why is the fan things on this side? And it's like, shut up.
It's a Joe special.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're telling me.
Because they're there and shut up.
Duh.
All right, let's see if these fit like this. So I gotta put these in first. There are so many. Why are there so many?
Yeah, there really is a stupid amount of cable right
Like,
there.
yeah, there's a lot. So you've got your fan header, you've got your RGB header, that goes there, that goes there. Now, are these, they didn't give you... So they want you to plug them all together, and then that's if you want to use the controller. If not, you plug them all together, and then this is an MSI board. So you plug it into, and I quote, J Rainbow. Of course it is.
4M Watch says it's like in those movies when people say this blade was forged by insert name here
Yeah.
at the forge in the fires of blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So I was gonna, so right here where it says I buy power, because this is, I bought this and then it like roughly 2 months in, ripped almost everything out of it. As you do when you buy a pre-built computer. I wanted, if I had enough time, or if I remembered that this had I buy power just printed on it, I wanted to sticker over it and just put built by Joe or eat at Joe's, something like that. But
I mean, you do have a Cricut. You could always just give it to me and I'll put it on.
moving forward. Nope, not this one.
Put in your logo or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, created by, Eat at Joe's, and then put the Tabletop Trio logo next to it.
They give you so much fucking wire. Holy shit. All right, I think I know what I want to do here. I want to put them down here. So this is going to be a little janky. Apologies to the camera. This is how this works.
Perfect.
Okay. So, we're just going to hang a bunch of shit here. These are very weird sleeved cables. They feel like sticky almost, but like not sticky. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm 50-50 at the moment. Okay, you go there. And then just kind of dangle for a second. You're going to go here. And then it's like such a thin cable inside, but then they just obnoxiously wrap it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go here.
God, seeing it set up like that looks so cool. Just like right now, even with the lighting and all that.
Wait till it starts glowing like it owes you money.
Oh, I know.
Gonna go there.
Very excited to see that.
There. Hopefully, when it does turn on, it does light up. Best case scenario.
I mean, in fairness, I'm happy if it just turns on.
All right. And then this guy, where are you gonna come from? So you're gonna be sitting. So you're gonna go this way. Sorry.
Headbutt.
No, my chin hit the case, and that's where my microphone is.
It's like whiskers on a cat.
Yeah, my bad. Okay. We're going to pull this in. Reel it on in. Okay.
If you need an extra hand, let me know.
I'm mostly just praying that this sits how I want it to. Oh my god. It could not fit any better. That is irresponsibly okay.
Oh no.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Stop it. Don't you fall in that hole. Yeah, you saw it, Bob.
The sound made it even worse. With what 4am Watch said earlier, Joe is Goblin confirmed.
What? You've never put a screw in your mouth so that the magnet bit hits it in the right direction?
I mean, I can't say that I have.
Well, joke's on you. You only need to do it once. And then you're good to use your hands. Okay. So now we got this guy mounted. Work with me here. There we go.
Eventually.
So this could fit like an obnoxious radiator. I don't know why they built it like this. This is a weird case. But for what you're running and what your like heat needs are, this is still probably overkill. Mm-hmm. But I built with the assumption that eventually you'll be adding more.
Oh yeah.
So
4am Watch says this is how Wyatt crafts things.
Oh yeah.
And this is absolutely what I pictured Wyatt doing.
I was just
Wyatt
eating.
being Joe's D&D character, if you're not familiar.
I was just eating a screw. It's fine.
Yeah. Fiber. Duh.
Yeah.
Protein.
Protein. Definitely protein. Okay. Back down we go.
Up a little more. Perfect.
Okay. Now, bastard. No, you are gonna be like the death of me, aren't you? So that's gonna sit like that. Just like that. This was meant for a much larger case, as you could tell.
Yeah.
But it'll be fine.
I was gonna say, looking at it, it looks a lot smaller but larger, if that makes any sense.
So this is a mid ATX case. They make several different kinds. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. That's how that sits. I guess that's weird. Okay. So they make several different types of ATX cases. They make mini ATX, mini ITX, micro ATX, mid ATX, full ATX, extended ATX, which are like those big boys, like the ones that are like, damn. And then they
chunky.
make some other like weird configurations. This is a mid ATX, so it's it fits the full ATX board here, but it's snug. Not a lot of wasted space. Which is part of the reason when I rebuilt my computer, I built in a case that was basically a sheet of metal with a glass in front of it. It's all open end, like it's all open case. But like I said, I would have kept this case if I could mount it on the wall, but I couldn't have.
Yeah.
And I mounted my new case
Is it
using
really
literally
a case,
a
or
TV.
is it just a sheet of plastic?
It's more art than a case, I guess. Because it is like one sheet of metal in the front, like acrylic metal. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a pain. So you only get like one good shot at this, and then I'm going to have to go downstairs and get different paste and paper towels and like thermal compound cleaner and just a whole bunch of shit I don't want to do. So I really only get one good shot at this. I just want to make sure this goes on right. So I loosened it. This needs to not.
As we're just dry fitting right now.
Yeah, I just want to make sure this goes. There it is. Okay. And then you just tighten the shit out of it. Okay. So. So, there's your stuff. You squeeze a goop on there.
Okay. So it's a
And
little
then-
tiny syringe. It's filled with the pasty, goopy stuff. That's that good.
And then we hook this side on first, that side on second. And then we screw the shit out of it. Just fucking get it in there. All right.
All right.
Huzzah.
We have cooling.
Yes, you now have cooling. Now, there should be somewhere here, and I pray that it's not under this. Nope, we're good. So there are system fans everywhere, but some motherboards these days have dedicated spots for liquid cooling.
Huh?
So I just want to make sure it might be under here, in which case we're screwed. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Joe's just looking to find the spot for it. And is it under a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it's under a thing. It's always under a thing. And this would be the problem with building with mini or mid ATX cases. Mm-hmm. Is that everything has a spot, and if you put it in the wrong order, guess what you're doing?
Guess what? You're going back a few steps.
On the upside.
Well, while you're... oh, that's a good idea. While you're screwing that in, we do have a very special episode planned this Saturday night, right around 8 o'clock Eastern. we're going to be going and hanging out with Cast Iron Kyle at the Cast Iron Kyle Studios, and we're going to be streaming the judging for the Boston Hot Sauce Festival that's coming up at the end of April. We're going to be there with Kyle and a whole bunch of other people. So make sure you check out this Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, having some hot sauce. Joe and I will be there with Cast Iron Kyle and the rest of the panel of judges, as well as I believe you said the owner of the Boston Hot Sauce Festival as well will be there. So there's going to be a bunch of us trying a bunch of different hot sauces and just kind of hanging out with Kyle and all that group. So make sure you check that out as well. In the chat, taking a look here, Surfer KWC says the worst part is the front panel connectors.
Yeah. Thankfully, they've gotten better over the years. They're not as terrible as they've been. They started labeling them, which I will show you shortly. I'm just trying to... Oh, fuck it. It's in 900 languages, but that's not where we're going. They give you like things lettered here, like S, V, W, all that good stuff. Except there's no fucking thing for what any of those mean. I gotta scan a QR code.
Oh.
That's what I want to do. While I'm building a computer, I have to pause and scan a code. Thermaltake, I know you're probably trying to save paper here, but maybe stop it.
Maybe not a good idea. But then again, isn't technology great?
It's fantastic. This is the same manual.
I mean, I will say technology is allowing us to have this awesome two-shot right now.
They literally point to this piece of paper.
For where the cooling goes?
No, it literally this piece of paper. When it says scan here for the installation guide, they bring you to the same piece of paper. Stop it.
Is this the right button? Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, jeez, stop playing.
Why? Why?
At least we have a good reason to use this sound.
No.
It's the last thing we need with this.
I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, W does go to the CPU fan, not the pump header. So I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes they make it go to the one thing, and then other times they make it go to another thing, and I just wanted to make sure I got the right thing.
Yeah. Might be slightly important.
A little bit.
Maybe.
A little bit. Okay.
By the way, if you're just joining us, this is a fairly budget PC build for me to replace the PC that I had. That all, parts and all that kind of stuff.
Was Uber budget.
Oh, yes. So it's a bit of an upgrade from the last machine that I had. But this is going to be a lot of fun to look up, and we'll show you the graphics card. AMD Ryzen 7 for the CPU, MSI Tomahawk motherboard.
Just makes me hungry.
Whatever that means.
Just want a steak now.
Ooh, that would be good. 3060 for the video card. Am I missing anything else?
1 terabyte SSD.
Yes.
M.2. Get.
And 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Not RGB. Didn't put RGB on the RAM.
Yet.
Yeah, there's
time.
still plenty of time. Plenty of upgrades to go.
Sorry, camera.
That's all right. They get to stare at both me and the action
extreme-
that's going on.
An extreme close-up of, fucking nothing.
It's actually getting a good shot of the Tomahawk logo that's on the motherboard.
So there's that.
So, branding.
Okay. Now, we've got all this fucking spaghetti back here.
It is very spaghettified.
Yeah, it is.
Luckily, that's not on camera.
So there's that.
Go back to the Joe shot. So everyone who knows what computers are doing is looking at this and just like, oh, okay.
Work with me. That'll be more than enough. It's time for the star.
So before we open that, should we show what I was running?
So I want to open it and then show the
do
difference.
comparison.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. So when we say it was a budget build, what we really mean was Bob never had a computer for gaming.
Yeah.
And
The last one I had was literally like an HP, like tower desktop family computer kind of thing.
yeah. And I have a lot of components.
A lot.
So I
Lives
took
you
an
going.
old computer. There we go. Let's see what's in the box.
Looks very official, like I'm getting a letter from Hogwarts or something.
I know they try to, I was really hoping for a sticker, but no stickers.
Well, I got a sticker with the motherboard.
Yeah, I know. I wanted more. I'm a sticker whore. If it comes with one, it's going in the computer. That's just how I run.
Nikon says, you say budget, but I have a Ryzen 5 in mind, so...
Listen, Ryzen has gone down. I bought him last gen. So he's not running Ryzen 7, like the 7th gen. He's running Ryzen 7 5th gen. I guess... Well, yeah, 5th gen. So his old budget PC was an Intel 4770 regular with like 16 gigs of RAM that I just happen to have lying around, and then nothing else. It was a Dell computer that I like Frankensteined and modified and did all sorts of shit.
Very modified in Frankenstein.
Yeah. Okay. So here, we have our brand new 3060 Ice Cool Edition. Now you can see that. Yeah.
There it is.
That is where the motherboard ends. This is just cooling. From here to here
Holy
is
shit.
just excess cooling. I wanted to make sure your computer didn't overheat.
Yeah.
Okay. This was his old graphics card.
You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about.
So this was a 1650 Super. Not like the worst card in the world, but it was
Oh,
right
not at
before it was right before pandemic hit, and I was able to snag that. And I built Bob a computer so he could play games because we kept saying like we wanted to play games on the stream, and I just want to play games with Bob in general. And Bob would always be like, "Well, I have a computer," and I was like, "Well, fucking here."
There were times during a previous podcast that we do not talk about, where we only could play games that had crossplay between Xbox and PC because I had, I have an Xbox One. But now, like last night, we streamed a game called Escape Academy.
Which
That
is
was
so much fun.
So much fun.
Was not expecting that.
I really wasn't.
That's not my cup of tea game.
Me neither. But at the same time, I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is just a good co-op game because it's literally an escape room.
I meant to bring that up.
On like as a game,
We started off real cocky.
we did. We're like, oh,
We started off real cocky. We got 2 A+, and we were like, yo, we're so good at this game. We should do puzzles for a living. And then the third one just fucking told us how wrong we were.
we even escaped this one room that started flooding and all that kind of stuff. We're like, oh, all right, we got this. And then the game froze, and I think the game was mad at us because it froze. And the next mission, it's just like, you need a hint. We're like, oh, fine. So we got what, like a B or something on that one, the art project.
Yeah, we got the B, and we were like, oh, it's not bad. We're still fine. Here we go. Okay.
And then we had to rescue someone, and we got them killed.
We
But we
did.
got an extra 5 minutes, and we got like a
And we got them unkilled.
we got like a C-. All right, so we'll go back to the PC port.
Okay.
And in the chat, Server KWC says, I'm running i5 8600K upgrading soon.
You know, I used to always go crazy with my systems. Like every year, I would just be like, "Yep, need the new latest and greatest. Let's drop $4,000." And the last time I got it was actually with this system. I bought it was the i7. I think it was the 9700K, and then it was cheaper for me to buy this than it was for me to part pick it out like what I did with this. It was literally cheaper for me to just buy it pre-made because that was when the graphics card thing was insane. So
Yeah, remember when people were mining for crypto?
assholes. So that was a pain. That was a thing. And then I ended up like ripping everything out and then upgrading components, and then Micro Center, praise be unto him,
The real one.
did it was a clearance once 10th gen came out. They did a clearance of 9900Ks for like $125. So I took off work that day and I drove up to Micro Center as fast as I physically could. Speed limits, it would have still been cheaper.
Definitely driving the speed limit.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Yes.
And then grabbed one, and then I sold my old 9700K for $200. So I made $75 by upgrading to the latest and greatest of this chipset.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That was a good one. Okay, so these are the. Can I get? Let's see if I can be that guy.
Focus. Wait. There you go.
Oh, this has it on focus mode, not zoom mode.
Yeah.
That's the problem we're having. Oops. So these are the little pins that someone was complaining about in the chat. At least they're all labeled now. And then here, you kind of just match it. So like these plug in here where they're got to go down here. So not the worst. There definitely have been some that have been absolute pains in the asses. I've been there. I've seen it. However, this goes back to mini case. My hands, not mini.
Small cable, large hands. Small space.
I will say,
large hands.
when building a computer, I don't normally get diva lighting. And this has been positive.
So what you're saying is you're glad we bought the lighting, not just for the podcast,
No, I think I might
but
just...
for actual PC building.
Yeah, I think I might just use these when building a computer, like, from now on.
And I'm glad we went with this instead of the ring lights.
Yeah, this was, I'm trying to, like... Can you see where I'm going down here? Yeah, kind of.
Sort of, maybe, kind of.
So, I'm just adjusting ring lights, or the lights, because I need to see. And when I put my hand down, I can't.
Yeah. That's why we have two.
That is why we have two. So,
The lighting overkill is perfect. Because honestly, the lighting looks great.
So there's that. All right, now we need power LED. But now I can't read the LEDs anymore. So these are power LED, minus positive, and I need to go plus minus. God damn it. Minus first? Nope, plus first.
Plus then minus.
So for a little while, motherboard companies were doing this thing where they would give you a bracket where you could plug all of these in ahead of time.
Oh, that would have been a smart idea.
Right. Wait a minute.
Oh.
We're missing something here.
Oh, no. Power?
Yeah. But actually. I see what happened. Okay. Let's try that again. Now with 100% more power.
Yay. I'm not going to lie. When I get home tonight after the show, I don't care what time it is. I'm plugging this in and running a race in iRacing just to see the difference. I don't care if I'm going to be super tired and probably late to work tomorrow.
Oh, probably.
It's worth it. Though I will not be staying up till like 3 in the morning. I say that now. It's like 1:30. I have time for another race. I'll be good.
But look how pretty the cars are.
The cars are sparkly now.
They're not polygons with wheels.
You mean to say I'm not still playing the PlayStation 1?
Right? No, you'll be real.
Ooh.
Where's that? Okay, there we are. There's Rainbow 1. Where's Rainbow 2 go then? All right, we'll get to that when we get to that. I know Rainbow 1 is up here, but like I didn't see the connector for Rainbow 1. So we'll
So you're saying you're missing Rainbow Connection?
yeah, we're missing Rainbow.
Where's Kermit when we need him?
All right. Whoa, drop my screwdriver. I don't think I need it at this point anymore, but you never know. Okay, so, oh, jeez, it's getting heavy now. All right. Now, the spaghetti monster.
Ah, yes.
It feels like I'm going to braid a child's hair. Okay.
Plus, I'm sure having the headphones on doesn't
Not helping.
doesn't help at all.
Okay, so you and you should be fans. So, let's put... And then
It literally
you
is braiding
guys-
the.
Yeah. All right. So they literally tell you to just kind of, in a line, plug them all in.
Oh God! So just daisy chain them all.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that click.
So this one goes first. This one goes second. This one goes third. And then what? Because what to do then?
Pull up the PDF. Hey, look at the piece of paper we sent you. Piece of paper. Hey, look at this thing on the unscan this.
There's a cable? Did it come with a cable? Did this... Okay. And then this goes here. I wonder if I could... Oh, no. I'll figure that out. One of your fans might just be a regular fan.
Oh darn!
Yeah, sorry.
It's ruining the aesthetic of this build.
All right, so...
I think what would be cool, like, would never be able for me to do, but I would love to have like a custom PC build where I get, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, where I get the Miles the Monster Dover Speedway mascot. There's a trophy. The trophy is him holding a die-cast car. I would love to have that, but instead of the die-cast car, have it holding like the video card or something like that. Just
I was thinking, I was toying with the idea of getting that like a custom like whole thing going for like your build. Like just make it like dumb custom. But then you know, it's just when you're like budget building and this and that, you don't really have. I'm gonna have to unscrew that again. God damn it.
Yeah, like, because it literally, this was one of those, hey, Joe, here's my budget.
Make it work.
Eh? And literally within 5 minutes, you're like, okay, here's the
Here's the
website,
thing.
here's your list, go for it. I'm like, all right, cool, I bought it. And you're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I bought it. I got paid. It's a lot of Piscetti.
Yep. We're gonna start zip tying some shit
Yes.
that I don't need in the way anymore.
Nikon will be very happy to see the the zip ties.
They're clear.
At one point, they were.
They're still somewhat kind of, sort of clear.
Oh yeah, that zip tie ASMR.
So this is really the part where people are like, this is the part where it takes a lot of time. Building it real quick, cable managing it, making it look all pretty, making sure you're not going to have any like issues going forward. That is the part that takes the most amount of time. So that's going to plug in here, so presumably like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that down there. Hopefully, Bob, let me know if you could see this all good.
That is just a little bit out of focus.
Out of focus or out of frame?
Out of focus. Other way. Yeah, that's good. Nope. Nope. Perfect. Or at least good enough.
Good enough.
I feel like I was at the eye doctor there. It's like 1 or 2.
One,
two. And I'm just so indecisive. Like, I'm always afraid I'm going to, like, fuck up my glasses, be like, oh, this was worse.
Dude, every time I used to go, they'd be like 1 or 2. They'd be like 2. They'd be like 2 or 3. 3. 3 or 4. 4.
That or, like, I would second guess myself reading the letters. It's like, E4. That's a 4 or an A.
No.
I can't tell.
Niner. So there's supposed to be an extra pin here, and there's not, which means the pin broke. I could see it. It's still there. It's in the connector. No bueno.
Oh, no.
I know I could technically fix that, but not right now.
That's fair.
I'm also going to have to figure this out, but again, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, I will zip tie more of this later. Once I turn the system on and make sure and confirm that all the RGBs are working, that's where that spaghetti comes in.
Mm-hmm.
This is whole new
That is
spaghetti.
a disturbing amount of spaghetti right there.
Well, I don't.
That's a full-blown Italian dinner.
Yeah, I guess for like big cases, it's convenient.
Oh, yeah, true.
For this particular instance, it's a little excessive. I don't even know if one zip tie is going to cover this.
Yeah, you might have to do 2.
Am I the only one that does that? Just zip tie in a zip tie?
Oh, no. I when I was doing promotions and whatnot, we would zip ties into zip ties. And have daisy chains of like 5 of them before we were able to get around like one thick pole.
Yeah. Until you get the hexagon of zip ties?
Oh, yeah.
Once you get to 5, it starts to kind of bend itself into a design. All right. So,
Some kind of avant-garde like art
yeah.
rendition.
It's a thing.
Yeah, you know.
All right. Let's spin this around. Oh, it's hefty. And I take apart the radiator again. Actually, let me put these in first. So,
I will say it's looking more and more like a computer every time.
yeah. So these are just going to go right here. I don't think they even gave you... There were no other cables in the box, right?
I don't think so.
Liar. You lied to me.
Didn't you like set that aside? You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need that for later.
Shut up, Bob. Now, not the time. Wait. What? What? What?
Go scan this thing.
What?
Scan it. Look at your instructions, you idiot.
I'm just. This is. I see what that is. Okay, that's if your motherboard. So if this plugs into the CPU fan, and then this gets tripped. Then where does the main guy go? Why did they design it like this? This is really strange. Sorry, I've never. So it wants all of them onto a CPU fan port. But I think there's only one on this motherboard.
Interesting.
I could be wrong. Again, it tells me to plug everything to it. If you want more, go to the manual. I miss the days of them just having everything.
Who needs to conserve paper?
Not
Stupid
me.
planet.
Listen, there are some things that should be on the paper, and the schematic is one of them.
Honestly, instructions need to be printed.
I like how they have a YouTube video of how to plug things in. That's actually kind of neat for first timers.
But for professionals like Joe,
yeah, however,
just give me the damn instructions.
I'm not looking for specific thing. I'm looking for. I guess I'll just find it. We're gonna go on a treasure hunt.
Yay! Super fun.
Well, the good news is everything is zip tied now, so
True.
it can only go so far.
It's a fair point. And like I was mentioning before, this Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, you could join us live as we do the judging for the Boston Hot Sauce Festival that we'll be going to at the end of the month. I can't believe we're only 4 weeks away from that.
I know, it's happening real quick.
We've got our lodging accommodations set up and all that kind of stuff. We might be doing a special episode live from the show. But we're definitely going to be walking around doing some interviews and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Indeed.
Talking to a lot of different hot sauce makers, getting them on, going to try some stuff. Bronson is a huge hot sauce fan. Joe, you like hot sauce. I do too.
I do indeed.
I'm probably the biggest wimp when it comes to spice level and all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Probably.
I don't know. I'm fairly up there.
I don't know, because my issue is I like some heat, but I like it to add flavor. I don't like hot for hot's sake.
Yeah, that's my vote.
You know what I mean? I can't do the whole hot ones. This is atomic, sauce.
Yeah, that's how I am.
I can't like that. It's just I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Sorry, they didn't label something on the motherboard.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so now they didn't silk screen it for some reason. So I just have to go on the website, pull out the download thing support. I guess it would.
Somewhere in there. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Trying to think what other fun upcoming things we've got going on.
We still need to do our cooking episode.
We do. I forget off the top of my head what we are going to be cooking, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
I also forgot.
We might that might be an episode where we invite Cast Iron Kyle back on to have him sit here as a panel or as a panelist and have us cook for him, since he cooked for us the one time, which is always a good time.
Yes.
But and we're gonna have to have, you know what? Let's bring some dice to the show on Saturday. I know we're planning live, which is always super great. Yep. But 4M Watch says yes, cooking episode, so I could eat the leftovers. Yes.
Who's the goblin now?
But we should bring dice to have the judges roll as well. For more the
cooking?
Future cooking episode, like the next one after the one that we have set up, just to have them roll and say, okay, this is going to be book number 6, page 175. You know what I mean? I think that would be a lot of fun.
That does make sense. We could pull it. Oh my god, could I get a high res photo, please? And not like
You're only getting potato
duty.
quality.
Yeah. I think that's another CPU header, but they don't have it labeled as such.
So
And it is literally nowhere on the website.
you know, there's one thing I've noticed. So you guys saw the D&D movie the other night.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
Fantastic. Loved everything about it. Ever since I saw that movie, there were a lot. I've seen a lot of potato things on the internet.
What do
I
you
know
mean?
it's not correlated, but I'm seeing potatoes pop up more.
What, like photos?
No, like
Or just potatoes in
like
general?
recipes.
Potatoes are abundant.
It's I don't know, it's weird that after seeing the movie and potatoes have a whole thing in the movie, without going into spoilers or anything like that. But between seeing that and like just seeing random potato recipes on TikTok and that kind of thing, it was just interesting to me,
Maybe you search potato once and then they just kind of
right?
they just
Like I
went
watched
on
a
it.
full I watched one full TikTok and they're like, "Hey, this guy likes potatoes."
Let's send them potatoes.
Before I watched this, your phone was also watching the movie.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Okay. I'm not crazy. They just don't have it labeled. So we have CPU fan and then we have pump fan. And in this particular instance, I believe this guy is going to technically be your pump fan. So, here, come with me. And then where's that cable that I was cursing about? Did I huck it somewhere? Yep. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, these are part of the inconveniences of building in tiny cases.
Yeah. I could see that being a little annoying.
Yeah, but
And
then
by
when,
little, I mean a lot.
then when it's done and you're looking at it, you're like, damn. You know? So, like, there are positives to the stupidity. So, it wants... What does it want? Wrong one. Where's P? Which one's P?
Somewhere in there.
Oh my god, there's just so many unnecessary cables on this thing. So it wants everything on the CPU fan port. However, there's only one, and it tells you to plug everything in to one, which is literally impossible. So I'm going to plug this guy to here and have the two fans. I see why they do it like this, but it's really stupid. I feel like you could just have these individually set.
Whatever do you mean?
So motherboards have like several dozen connectors. Newer ones definitely do. Where if like you plug in 13 fans, you could have each fan kind of spin at a different speed, depending on where it is in the case, and yada yada, and blah blah blah. So I feel like there was no reason that they had to put these on like a header to share. They kind of could have just been like, plug this one into CPU 1 and this one into CPU 2. Like, instead, it's like, plug everything into a CPU header. And it's like, well, there's only one. It's like, right, plug 3 things into that one.
Yeah.
But they only give you a header for combining 2.
this goes here. Anything else? Good luck.
Thankfully, I'm probably just going to modify it in the BIOS and just tell it what goes where,
And there is a flash BIOS button on there.
which we may or may not have to utilize.
Because that was the one thing you and I were talking about before, just in planning of like what's going on. And you're like, yeah, I might need to do X, Y, and Z, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, still might have to do X, Y, and Z.
But maybe not QRS instead, or as well.
No, that's its own thing. Oh, that's what I had to plug in. I'm like, where's that black cable doing there? And then I remembered. That's where rainbow poop goes.
Ooh.
Rob. Rob?
Rob?
I don't even know why I said Rob.
That made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, sorry. That was, I don't know. I don't know what that was about. All right, you're going to go in there. Be free. I guess the reverse of free. Be locked in here forever.
Have fun doing your job forever.
Maybe not. It's fighting back.
I don't want it.
Okay, there we go.
I will say with talking about the D&D movie, my dog's name is Johnny. So
Really?
every now and then I'll call him Jonathan, but now I call him Jonathan.
Is it when he's in trouble?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Or like if he's complaining, and I'll just kind of stare at him and be like, Jonathan, stop. But now I'll call him Jonathan because, you know, the D&D movie.
The D&D movie told me to.
Jonathan will be here. I have to say, spoiler free. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone. I hate doing that. It genuinely felt like a D&D one shot.
It did. I was genuinely surprised.
Like even with the different side quests, like the one where the barbarian wanted to go visit a friend. It really felt like the PC was just like, no, I really want to go here. And the DM's like, fine, we'll go.
Right.
Because it felt very out of place with the rest of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where like it felt like the player that was controlling the character was just like, no, I really want to do this real quick. And the
Like, I
DM
just
kind
have
of did
to.
one of those, oh, fine, I guess.
Right? No, I thought it was really good, like just overall. I think they did a really good job. All right. Did I get everything?
Nikon said that they loved the movie as well, which is, it was so much fun. And I
It
was
was.
very disappointed I couldn't go to see it again, but with you guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Because I love being able to watch movies a second time. Like, I'm the kind of person that doesn't really hate spoilers
Really?
because it's one of those things where, okay, I know what's going to happen. Yeah, it sucks that I, had that spoiled.
Yeah.
But now I get to sit there and be like, ooh, okay, are there going to be any hints as to saying, okay, we arrived at the conclusion. Was there anything that sat there as just like, oh, by the way, maybe you should think about doing this? It's like, oh, okay, one of those.
See, I don't really mind spoilers, but at the same time, like, no, these are definitely not going to fit. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the RGB header that I said I wasn't going to try to fix. I lied. I'm just hoping that I can get the pin, but I don't think I can. Which is so unfortunate.
4M Watch says, had so much fun. Best movie-going experience in a while.
Yeah, it was, it felt, like, what's the word? Just like finally,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was lucky enough. It was on a whim, like a Friday afternoon. I was talking with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait till the D&D movie comes out, blah, blah, blah. And I had seen rumors of like an Amazon only screening kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, well, why don't I look that up? And one of the theaters near where my girlfriend lives was doing an early release kind of thing.
Oh, that's how you got there.
So we got to see the movie like 2 weeks before it actually premiered. And it was really cool because you know how normally you go to a movie and there's like 20 minutes of previews?
Yeah.
We walked in at like right at like the 2:00 showing or whatever time it was supposed to be. It was the cast on screen saying, "Hey, welcome to the Amazon only screening. Hope you enjoy the movie." And the movie started like right away.
Oh, that's neat.
And I'm like, "Oh, thank God we didn't wait. We weren't stuck in line getting popcorn and being like, oh, we got plenty of time."
I guess you could shoot to your camera. I have the dice bucket behind you.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can see it. Can you see? Yeah, it's right there, right over my shoulder.
All right, where can I hide you? You are a large lump of cable.
This is a very cool popcorn bucket dice.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna feel kind of like cheap. I was kind of like worried about it. Like it's gonna be like that plastic that like Halloween.
Like Halloween
Decoration?
like pumpkin bucket plastic.
Like that. That's what I assumed it was gonna be. So very, very nice. That is not the case.
Yeah, and this is it opened up. Only in cinemas.
For now.
Yeah.
You imagine if it just never comes out?
I would be very disappointed.
Like if it was literally only in cinemas. I don't know why they put that stuff on there. Like I get it. Like yes, technically, but like, you know, it's not gonna just be in cinemas.
Right. Oh, and I appreciate how the natural 20 is right on top when you set the bucket down properly.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about said bucket was that it is very firmly meant for your lap.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't sit flat.
Well, I remember seeing rumors about how in there it says not for like food use.
Which is weird because they give you a free bucket of popcorn when you buy the bucket.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the fine
But-
print.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a thing. All right.
Oh no, it says hand wash only.
Yeah, I definitely caught that part because I was about to pour the popcorn in there. It was like hand wash only, and I was like, I'm lazy. Let me just eat the popcorn out of the bucket
Right.
that it comes with.
Yeah, just put the. I'm gonna put the bucket in the bucket.
Yeah. So I'm just making sure all of these will fit nice and pretty. Not that you'll ever open this and look.
Right, and
But-
that side's actually gonna be up against my wall anyway.
Yeah, I know. This is for me. This is
Fair.
This
it's
is like
got the Eat at Joe's signature on it.
Yeah. Like this is the thing that I was telling you about, like when you're building a computer. This is the thing that nobody sees because no one looks back here, but it's still like, you know.
In the chat, Nikon says, I watched John Wick 4 the weekend before and then that, and it was great. Don't even like going to the movies most of the time. I agree.
Yeah,
Like,
I usually don't.
I used to love going to the movies, but now just people are assholes. Like when I saw the movie, there was this couple right next to us,
Yeah.
and it was the standard guy not knowing how to whisper. So even his whispers were just like, "Hey, it's going over here," the entire time, and like my girlfriend was sitting next to them, and she's just like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm going to kill this guy."
It's gonna happen. Yeah, maybe.
And Nikon says, "I wish I could have gotten one of the buckets, but I'm not paying reseller prices." Yeah, absolutely not.
I fucking hate scalpers.
Like
hate them
it
so
looks
much.
cool, but not cool enough for me to be like, I'm gonna buy and spend like $80 on a bucket.
Nah, somebody already released the STL to 3D print.
I just saw that someone in one of the group chats I'm in just shared that.
Yep. Everyone has been sending it to me because I have a 3D printer. So
Literally, I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, when I get a 3D printer, I can
I'm
set
like,
that up.
I'm sorry, guys. I was lucky enough to be able to get 2 buckets retail.
Yeah. Which still was like what? They were like what, $35 each or something like that?
Yep, 35 plus tax.
Jeez. Yay for plastic.
Right? That's why I was like, this best not be movie theater plastic.
Oh my god.
Like, not movie theater. Halloween decoration plastic for $35.
Yeah, like when I saw the picture of it initially, I'm like, okay, that's gonna feel like, like the pumpkin buckets from the 90s.
Yeah, like a little squishy.
like McDonald's plastic.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, it's actually really good quality. It's got a good heft to it.
Okay. Last time.
You say that for now.
Shut up, Bob. All right.
Other hard drive?
Shut up, Bob. All right. We get there when we get there. I really don't like that this is just resting here to close it, but there's really not much I could do about it. Not right now, anyway. I'll figure that out at a later date. I think this is pretty much done.
I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing the perfect place for me to just pop a die cast in there.
That's why I wanted you to use this case, because I was like, you could put stuff down here.
Yeah, I'm putting a car in there. Oh, you know what? I might put my custom that I have of the Polyhedral Cathedral car.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's gonna be not frosted. It's darkened, but once all the lights turn on,
Oh, yeah.
that will no longer be the case.
Oh, and I could set it to Polyhedral Purple.
Oh, yes, you can. So, yeah,
Nice.
this is pretty much done. I guess I'll snap the stuff on. Give me 1 second. Let me take the filters that were being cleaned before. So, 1 moment.
Yeah. So that is the PC. Still just working on the final touches and all that kind of stuff, which we're going to do off screen, whether it's, setting up a monitor and, all that fun stuff. But this has been definitely a lot of fun to put together. Joe's coming back. Get the 2-shot going here. Actually, we'll just go to Joe's camera. So is that just like magnetized for the
Yep.
dust? Nice.
It's just a magnet dust cover. Yep. So hefty now. So just wow, that's weird over here. You can't see it at all. And through the camera, you're just like, I see everything. So it's just a magnetized cover that sticks on. And now, dun, 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 dun. So I was telling you before, and then I paused. Because this is a thing that I always do. I will need a Sharpie, but yeah. So what I always do,
I should have a Sharpie.
Sharpie or a pen. Do I have a pen?
From working in radio, I should have a Sharpie on me.
Perfect. Is that in the shot?
Just the case. There it is. I love that that's continuing the tradition.
So every time I have built in this case, I have put the new sticker on, but I have crossed out the old
That's
thing
amazing.
that was in it.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So that's what you got on the front. So it's got the 3-panel glass. And then let me put the glass panel on the side so that we could show it off in a glamour shot. So switch to you real quick, and then I will slap this on. And then
I love being able to see the like the reflection off of it right now, like every time you're moving with the lighting and everything.
Yeah, it's a pretty case. I'm not.
It is really nice.
That's why I was like, don't buy a case. I have a case. Like, I have a case that I would have kept if I could hang it on a wall.
Yeah, because that is a nice looking case, and I like the fact that it on the the back side, that's just completely like metaled off and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it just kind of like hides everything.
Okay, and then give me a moment. Yeah.
As we're setting up the shot and all that kind of stuff. Thank you all again for hanging out with us while we build the PC. This has been a hell of a lot of fun to do. Very informational also. Just trying to figure out how everything works, and I'm excited to have the maiden turning on of the computer.
The maiden voyage.
Yeah. 4M Watch says it was a lot of fun and relaxing to do. Because it was. I don't know if this is going to make for a good podcast audio episode. So this may not even actually go out to the podcast listeners. Just because it's been a lot of
Here's this, here's that. All right. And here
Are we good to switch off?
Yeah. It's not going to light up, but
Ta-da!
ta-da.
It looks like a mirror in the camera shots.
So when you turn. So once this lights up, it's basically like sunglasses right now. Once it lights up, the lights are going to come out from the other side. So everything is going to be like a diffused sunglass kind of look.
That's really cool.
But it should function real good. So that's that. Now we get to plug it in. Pray it turns on.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yay.
But we'll do that. I guess that's a good jumping off point for the show then.
Yep.
In that case. So as always, thank you all so much for hanging out with us here on Tabletop Trio Podcast. Don't forget, you can always follow us on all the different social medias and all that kind of stuff. You can get updates and behind-the-scenes pictures, videos, promos, and all that kind of thing. We'll let you know what we're playing, streaming, all that kind of stuff, too. Don't forget, you can also check us out wherever you find podcasts, or if you're a podcast listener, even though you're probably not listening to this episode, but... give us a follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/tabletop trio. You can check us out there. Give us a follow. We're getting real close to having the ability to offer subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you check us out there. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
This has been Tabletop Trio. Have a great night.